Yeah, I can see you
I
now.
can see you.
Yeah, good to see you. It's been a while.
Yes, good to see you too. And I can see that you are really having fun in life. I envy you.
Life has been good and
I can
fine,
see the
actually.
amount of traveling that you're doing.
Uh,
I really envy you. Yeah, I wish I could do that.
I'll drop by in Singapore one of these days, actually. I'm looking forward to that too. Uh,
Sorry, I lost you. I lost you.
okay, let me put on the earpiece and the mouthpiece as well. I think that will work better. Are you okay with that?
Okay.
Okay,
Ah,
can
perfect.
you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Fantastic. Okay, just a couple of things before we go on. One is this is being recorded. I hope you're
Now,
okay
again,
with that. I hope you're okay
I'm
with that.
fine with that. I'm
Yeah.
fine with that.
Okay. The other one is, in case end of it, we will discuss.
Your voice is breaking in between, Shafi.
Oh, that's. Let me just see.
Your voice is.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Clearly.
Keep speaking.
Yeah. Okay. Essentially, what I was saying was that one is this is being recorded. This is a part of the study that we are conducting. I had sent you the link to our earlier study. Now, Dr. Meenakshi
Yes.
Khemka is with me. She's the one who's helping out with the whole thing, actually. And
Okay.
she's here right now. So what we are doing is, this is about people who have gone through certain phases in their lives, have done whatever they have done to get where they are right now, right? So some of these gentlemen and ladies have been identified. You being the first one that we are going on with. I'm glad you're the first one on the list, actually.
Okay.
Right? What we will also need, we will start the,
All right. Thank you.
we will
Thank you
start.
for inviting me to be a part of the program.
I'm glad you have agreed. What we are doing is, we will have these questions, and I had mailed the questions to you earlier. Uh, but what we will also do, there will be supplementary questions. So we will ask you the question, and then if there are areas which we need clarification on, we'll go and seek clarification on that as well, right? At any stage, if you feel that you have said something or you have shared some thoughts and you don't want it to attribute it to you, we might use that information, but we will not attribute it to you. So it will be like go into our study and report our
No, no,
study.
not a problem. Not a
Okay.
problem. I've gone through the questions.
Yeah. So you were saying.
No, I said I've gone through the questions at a cursory level. Fairly straightforward questions.
Yes.
It's all about life's experiences and so on and so forth. So I'll be candid. I'll share whatever I can. If that helps you in any way,
Fantastic.
I'll be glad to have made that contribution.
Fantastic. The second one is that, after this preliminary thing, I'll hand over to Dr. Kemka and she'll take it further with the questions. And what we will do from here is, once we are done with the whole thing, this will go into the report of our research. And we also have intention, which I had mentioned in the mail as well. We have also got this idea of taking it out as a book later on with a collection of whatever thoughts we might gather in the process. So I hope you're all right with all that.
Yeah, I'm fine with all that. No
Perfectly fine.
problem.
Okay. I'm passing on to Dr. Khemka. I'm here anyway, so we will, in case there are things that I need to clarify with you, I'll be butting in once in a while, right? Thank you very much once again, Dr. Khemka. I'll switch the. No, I'm
Hello.
you mostly sound good.
Hello.
Hello, Dr. Khemkar, is it?
Yeah. Hi. Good morning.
Good morning to you. Good afternoon to me. I'm in a time zone where it is now 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay. Okay. Good afternoon to you. Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
So can we start with the questions?
Sure, no problem. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. So, first question we start with: if you were to write your autobiography, what would you write in it? What would be the key highlights?
Well, looking back at my life so far, it has been a wonderful journey.
Mm-hmm.
The part which I'm going to write about, or which I'm going to highlight, is the fact that success comes out of two elements. One is the ability to adapt and keep learning,
Mm-hmm.
which I have tried to do in my life. I have been a learner, and I continue to be a learner.
Okay.
I try to pick on the positive attributes of the kind of people I network with, the kind of people I come across,
Mm.
I learn from the environment, and I am a quick adapter to changes. So I think success comes from the ability to adapt, the ability to continuously learn,
Mm.
and the fact that you need to have an element of confidence and hard work thrown in it,
Mhm.
in this whole element. So if I have to write an autobiography, it's not going to be very different from any other individual who comes from a pretty middle class background in an Indian city in an age where there was no technology. It was all brick and mortar, and it was a very socialistic environment where the focus was onto academics and studies. So my autobiography will be no different in these manners. But what I would like to highlight upon are the elements which I just mentioned. That is, my life has been a life of learning, adaptability, experimenting, and the fact that I've always been, at least I've always tried to be confident about myself
Mhm.
in what I'm doing,
So,
and I have not shied away from hard work.
so could we have some specific instances, please?
Okay, so let me put it this way: in the 1980s, when I was doing my high school, that was the time when uh, I was in a school which was highly competitive in a city, in the city where you are, I presume, in Calcutta,
Mhm.
in Kolkata. Um, I was in a school where the stress on academics was extremely high, and I realized that I am one amongst thousands of students who are struggling to make my mark,
Mhm.
but I may not be able to attain the top position or the top 5 position or the top 10 position academically.
Mhm.
So that was the time I realized that I need to probably build on my self confidence. I've got to stress upon an overall development of my personality, my persona, and and probably also do some self-learning communication skills so
Okay.
that I'll be able to interact with people better. I'll be able to express my views better. So just to wrap up what I'm saying, I was probably academically not at the top of the heap,
Mhm.
but I tried to focus on an all-round development of my personality, which probably gave me a lot of confidence at that early age in life, and which also propelled me to a position where I could navigate and drive my own destiny to a certain degree, whether it was for my higher education, for my studies, and so on and so forth.
So, Prasad,
I'll give you another
yeah,
example.
please.
Um, at a time when an average Bengali middle class family, the parents would always put pressure on studies which were hovering around science subjects, on mathematics, and so on and so forth. I took it upon myself that given my overall academic limitations, I would pick on a subject where I would be able to enjoy, I will be able to get better results. So I chose at that early age, defying a lot of standard norms. I decided not to pursue science or get into engineering and so on and so forth. I decided to pursue commerce. So that was also a decision which I took at that stage, which helped me later in life. Um, and finally, if I may say so, I that was the time when I also realized that to put my confidence into action,
Mhm.
into executable action, I need to do something on my own to start earning some money.
Mhm.
So at a time when probably people from our social strata would not venture out to do part-time jobs and so on and so forth, because it was like lowering yourself in the social structure. Like, why do you need to go ahead and do some jobs? So I used to take all my summer breaks and my winter breaks, whatever breaks I took during my high school and my college days. I used to get into some kind of a job. It could be as simple as doing some door-to-door selling, working for some agencies.
Okay.
It helped me in to understand, the power of getting rejected. So when I used to do these kind of jobs, when people used to reject me, throw me out of the way, say that no, we don't need you, it gave me a steely determination that I probably need to continue with what I'm doing. It not only gives me the joy and satisfaction of success when I get that success after 10 rejections, and also it helped me to earn my own money and probably fund a lot of my things, my desires, which I wanted to do in a positive way. So those are little things which I did, defying conventions of those times, because none of my friends at that point in time probably had the inclination towards doing all of this.
So you did this when you were in
So
college?
I did this when I was doing my class 10 finals,
Okay.
my 11th, 12th,
Okay.
and I continued doing that in my graduation. And in a way, during this time of life, I also lost my father. So whatever, it was a kind of a jolt. It was a kind of a shock. So I realized that since I was already on a path, I need to sort of pursue it very strongly. So during the final year of my graduation, I also took up a permanent job and I started my career very early.
Okay.
And I continued my academics in parallel to my work life. So in a way, it was a tough struggle,
Mm-hmm.
balancing education and full-time career. So all these little things, if I look back, probably puts me back to the point which I said. Life has been a learning curve, continuous learning, self-learning. I'm not an MBA or qualified management student where I was taught theoretical knowledge in terms of how to manage environment, how to manage situations, manage circumstances, manage people, and so on and so forth. But the self-learning is what I cherished, and I continue to be a learner. And as I said, those early experiences of working, defying norms, doing part-time jobs, and so on and so forth, gave me that level of layer of confidence in whatever I did, or whatever I continue to do now.
Okay, so you primarily actually focus on confidence. So while you talked about it, that your part-time experiences helped you to gain that confidence and self-learning, anything else which you think contributed towards that development of self-confidence?
A lot of reading. I used to read a lot of. See, again, let me rewind a bit. Right from my childhood, I was somehow very deeply interested in history. I used to study historical incidents. I used to read a lot about personalities. So I have read a lot of biographies of a lot of famous persons across the world. I followed, as I said, historical incidents, tried to learn or tried to analyze why things happened and what could have been done differently if I have to revisit history. So those are also little things which help me to shape myself. So confidence came from the fact that when I read about successful personalities in history, whether it is from the stream of politics or whether it is in the stream of economics or whether it is in the stream of social sciences, whatever, it sort of gave me uh, gave me knowledge, and I think that also helped me to boost my level of confidence.
Okay.
So reading is, in a way, if I may use one word, a lot of reading helped me in shaping what I did.
Okay. So now if we actually move towards your professional life, would you like to give us a brief insight into your professional life and background?
As I said, I started my career, my full-time career in 1987 when I was about 21 years of age. And I joined an industry which was a sunrise industry at that point in time in India, which was the IT industry. So, and it was a sales job because I joined as an executive trainee, and primarily I was trained to sell computers those days, and desktop computing and all was at a very nascent stage. So it was probably not by design, but a bit of luck and bit of accident that when I look back, I feel that I joined the right industry at the right time. Because obviously how Indian IT succeeded, I don't need to tell you that. Everybody knows about it. So I probably jumped into the bandwagon by accident. It wasn't by choice. It was just that I was looking for a job desperately, and I saw some opportunity here. I saw an ad in the newspaper. I applied. I sat through some written examinations, and I went for the interview. And knowing nothing about the computer industry, I was training. As I said, I was a commerce graduate. I was graduating in commerce subjects, training to be an accountant. I was following a cost accountancy course. So all that would have naturally led me to a finance and accounting job. But when I saw this opportunity and when I went in there, I got excited because I realized that I'll be able to learn the world of computers while working in the computer industry. And I also realized that here is an organization or a set of people who are quite young. Because the industry itself was young, so the people. So I got swayed by that, and I liked probably the excitement, the glamour of that industry at that point in time, and I loved every moment of it. So the first point which I would like to say in my career is that I became very passionate about what I was doing, and that passion led to success. So in the first year, despite a lot of doomsdayer who used to come and tell me, oh, selling is not sustainable, don't be a salesman in life, because again, it was all society related, because sales was related to be a kind of a lowly vocation. Even when you can't do anything else in life, you get into sales. Today, obviously, the situation is different. People do, MBAs and, engineering and all that, and they voluntarily, they come into sales. But our times were a bit different. So a lot of well-meaning relatives and so on and so forth used to come and say, hey, change course, become an accountant. I said, look, I don't want to be a pen pusher. I've started liking what I'm doing. I'm meeting people. That's very important. And at every step, I'm learning how to handle different individuals, trying to understand their needs and trying to address those. And it is giving me a lot of excitement. So passion was something which I got early in life in my career. And I think I'm still very passionate about what I'm doing. That is very critical. So every morning when I wake up, I still look back and say that did I do something useful the day before or yesterday? And that is what keeps driving me. So I got into the industry, but after about a few years, when I was selling computer hardware those days, I was realizing that it was becoming a commodity market. It was becoming a price market. There are no differentiators and so on and so forth. So I was again stagnating a bit. And that was the time when Shafi would know that I got this offer to join a company called Sterling Resorts. So the other part of my character is that I've been a dreamer, and traveling, tourism, these kind of things have always had a soft corner in my mind. So Sterling Holiday Resorts was a company which was pioneering the concept of holidaying in India. And I got a chance to get into that organization. And that gave me another different dimension of people management. In the IT industry, it was all very lean and trim. It was primarily, B2B kind of selling, and the teams were small. So I was basically handling, even at a managerial level at the early stages of my career, I was handling a team size of 2-3 people maximum, and maybe a few business partners here and there. But when I came to Sterling, I realized that, there is a different dimension of business, which is B2C. And in that B2C business environment, I inherited a large team of people. And that gave me a different learning. It put me through a different learning curve, which was the people management. And the other element of that was how to sell concepts. How to sell concepts to people, which is not a tangible product which I can show and demonstrate. So those were the learnings which I had midway into my career. When I was probably 8th year or 9th year in my career, I got the chance of learning all these things in Sterling. And obviously that art of people management, where you had large number of people ensuring that they are delivering their KPIs and ensuring that they are motivated uh, uh, to do their targets and numbers. And obviously along with that came administrative responsibility and managing P&L for a region and so on and so forth. So all those things were wonderful learning curve mid-career. I would have loved to continue in that organization, but the organization lost its way a bit in terms of its business planning. So I was looking around in terms of what to do. That's when I got a chance in 1998 to come to Singapore, and I jumped at that opportunity. Again, it was my confidence which said that go and grab it if you're getting a chance. Because at that same point in time, I was getting a chance to relocate to Bombay with a large multinational company, recognized, stable brand. But then I realized that I should get an experience to go out of the country and see what it feels like working outside. And I came to Singapore in 1998 when Southeast Asia was going through one of its worst recession. It was the financial crisis of Southeast Asia at that point in time. But yet in that despair, I saw there was an opportunity looming around, which was the Y2K opportunity, which was called the year 2000 opportunity, and the IT industry was raring to ride on that. And I again jumped back into the IT industry after my brief stint for that 3-year stint in Sterling Resorts. I came back to the IT industry where I belonged. And I started as a general manager for the region of an IT company which was selling application software. To me, the markets were new, people were new, environment was new. But I realized there was a wonderful opportunity to convert a lot of existing customers into the Y2K ready platform, and we wrote that. And I'm cutting a long story short, and there was a lot of success in that organization. And since then, I moved a couple of jobs after staying in that organization for 4 years. Then I moved to a larger organization in a larger playing field in the Asia Pacific region, and I grew the business substantially. With a pretty large compounded annual growth rate. And I met my next 10 years of career growth in that organization. And finally, for the last 3 years, I'm working in the space. Again, it is IT, but IT over these years have evolved as an enabler. And today, when I talk about IT, frankly, I don't go and talk about technology anywhere. We talk about how consumers are embracing IT. It is the world of Internet of Things these days. IT is all pervasive. It is touching everybody's lives in different ways, in different manners. So we are, positioning technology to create better customer experience. So as consumers, finally, when we end up interacting with any service provider or when we end up doing any kind of transactional interaction with our service provider, be it your bank, be it your telephony service provider, be it your healthcare service provider, we ultimately end up using a lot of technology platforms, and we end up, like, for example, what we are doing right now, we're using a technology platform to interact. So we always see how we can better the lives of the consumers by using technology. So life has brought me to a stage where we do a lot more of innovative thinking, and we use technology as platforms and enablers to get to that end stage, to create that end stage and make lives better. So this has been my career. So I continue to be based in Singapore since 1998. So it's been about 18 years, 17 years outside India. I handle the Asia Pacific region for my organization, which is called Servion. We do business across Asia and in Australia and New Zealand region. The good part is that, it is a very culturally diverse region, unless in the Western world, for example, in Europe or in the US. I won't say Europe to a degree, but Europe is still diverse. In North America, for instance, or UK, or the English-speaking world is pretty homogeneous in its characteristic. In Southeast Asia, every country has its own unique, distinct culture. Thailand is different from Philippines. Philippines is different from Indonesia. Indonesia is different from Singapore. So it's always a challenge in trying to balance everything together and continue the focus on business growth in each
So
of
if you
these
could quickly
markets.
identify 2 or 3 major hindrances that you had to overcome to reach where you are today, just 2 or 3 major ones.
Okay, one major hindrance that I had to overcome is the fact that I'm in an industry which is the technology industry, but I don't come from a
Can I
technology
interrupt for a
background.
second? This is Shafi. When we're looking at
Sure,
the
sure.
hindrances, we are looking at where you began from first up. So, when you were in college or even before that, if you thought there were certain things which could have held you back from getting to where you are right now, uh, what would be the key ones along the way in the last 30 years, let's say? What were the key ones that you, 3, 4, whatever comes to your mind? So that's what we are looking at, not just the industry related, but otherwise as well, personal and whatever it might have been.
So the hindrances, you're talking about hindrances, right? Okay, now looking back, one is obviously circumstances which I went through. As I said, if I wouldn't have lost my father at that point in time, then I would have probably focused a little more on academics, and probably I would have taken my life could have taken a different course of action. Maybe I could have pursued maybe a CPA course or a chartered accountant's course, or probably joined the finance or the accounting profession. But having said that, I see every hindrance can be looked upon as an opportunity as well. So looking back, as I said, circumstances, had it been different, I may have ended up a bit differently. Positive and negative, I don't want to comment on that. The other fact is that I joined in this industry, the technology industry, as I said, quite by accident. Right? It wasn't by choice. It's just that I got an opportunity. I jumped in. So looking back, if I look at something as a hindrance, if I would have been a technology academically a computer engineer or a technology trained person, maybe that would have probably sharpened my skills in a way. So if I may look at that, could have been a hindrance.
May I add another perspective to it? Is it also possible that it might have constrained you from being a little more free flowing that you might have been because of the circumstances that you found yourself in? Because of your,
Could
yeah?
have, could have. It could have. Maybe but by doing so, by being a technology trained person, I may have ended up being a computer coder, maybe a more a programmer, and restricted my life to being a programmer rather than being a generic leadership person, leading organizations or businesses. Maybe yes, you're right. The other element which I would say, the last one, if I may use, in a world where it has become very very globalized, where we do businesses across geographies, across boundaries, I got a chance to come to this part of the world, which is now leading the growth engine in the world. If I would have had the inclination towards learning languages, I would have loved to pick up the Chinese language, which I did not do. So if I had done that, maybe it would have catapulted me to a different league altogether, because it would have probably helped me in interacting with the industry at large in a smoother way, particularly because a large part of this world is very very China dependent. So, I mean, I don't know whether it's a hindrance or not, but yes, looking back through the rear view mirror, I wish I could have done that.
Okay. Now, like we ask a child, when somebody is small, we ask a child, what do you really want to become when you grow up? So, if I ask the same question to you today, what do you still want to become in your life, from whichever stage you are in?
See, frankly, I think I think I would be happy to make a a significant social contribution to the world. Till now, what I have done, I mean, if you look at it from a corporate, leadership level, in terms of my my wealth that I have created, the overall satisfaction with my career and all that, I think I've, after about working for about 27, 28 years, I think I feel that I've done all of it. I mean, I could have become the CEO of Microsoft or an Apple, but maybe that would not have given me the satisfaction of what I was seeking. So if you ask me now what I would like to become, I would like to become someone who can make some kind of a significant contribution to the society at large. And I'm still thinking of how do I achieve it. I've not reached that stages yet.
Okay.
So I'm still searching for that answer.
Do you have some random thoughts about it?
Sorry?
Do you have some random thoughts on this? Or have you really not explored this at all?
No, there has been flashes of thoughts, I would say, randomly. Yes, there have been. But I have not been able to put a concrete lid on that yet.
Okay. So, could you help us identify one or two turning points in your life? Turning points which really brought you to your current place? Turning points as in not really the industry maybe, but as Sir said earlier also, other parameters.
So again, going back to my personal life, there were two turning points in my life which I'd like to highlight. One is when I lost my father. So I was probably not left with a choice rather than take my academics as well as my career both very seriously, and it sort of turned me overnight from childhood to manhood, as they say, right? It was like making men out of boys. So I became a man overnight. From being a teenager kid, I overnight became a man. I had to take responsibilities, and that I think was one of the most significant points of my life, inflection points of my life. And the second fact was when in 1998, when my career in Sterling, although it was, as a career point, it was stable, but as an organization, it wasn't doing well. And I was looking out for a job. And when I got that multinational job, senior management responsibility, a firm offer to move to Bombay with a good paycheck by Indian standards those days, which I would have considered as a very stable, option. As against that, suddenly, and after I'd done all the sign up and all that, when I got this opportunity out of the blue, I met somebody and somebody said that there's a position here for a general, for a relatively much smaller organization, and in a totally uncharted water, because I had no clue as to what Singapore was all about, because of those days everybody aspired to go to the US. Nobody was looking really eastwards. So I took a bold, very, very bold decision, without knowing anything about this market, without knowing and leaving that safety cushion of that multinational job, that position which I got in Bombay, which should have been far safer waters for me. I took a plunge. And frankly, I think that was one of the biggest turning points in my life, because what I gained after coming here to this region and what I learned was something which I probably would not have been able to do so in India.
Okay.
Had I taken up that cushy multinational job.
Okay. Would you like to say anything about the role of your family in this entire thing?
Well, I think my wife has been very, very supportive. Let me put it this way: when you take career decisions in life, obviously, you have to consult family. right? Whether it is moving from one place to the other, whether you're changing one job to the other, and so on and so forth. My wife has always said that you are your best judge. You are a confident person. I'm sure you will take a very rational and well-rounded decision. It's your choice. I will support you through good times and bad times. That is one thing. Second thing is that my job entails a lot of traveling, and that means that I have probably, I'm guilty of neglecting family time because of the nature of my job. So my wife has always supported me. She's never cribbed about it. She's taken care of my family. She's brought up my two sons very well, I must say. And my children, my two boys who are 16 and 9, they are also extremely supportive of their daddy in terms of whatever I do. So to answer your question, yes, family has played a very significant role in allowing me to explore, in allowing me to confidently do what I am doing without having to think 5 times behind, fearing repercussions.
Okay. Okay, one last question. If you were to advise any youngster of what areas they should focus on so that they can have a successful career, what are the things you would like to point out?
I think in today's context, I think academic wise, every child or every teenager or youngster who's aspiring to get into career, they all know the importance of academics. So I think there's a lot of consciousness about education, right? So people are doing that, so that's a given. I won't advise them on any further on that. But what I see lacking and what makes a big difference is, as I said, is the overall personality building and communication skills. These two elements, personality building and communication skills, helps a person or a youngster to build up a kind of a confident facade through which he can face the world. So in my opinion, if there are a couple of advices which I would like to do is apart from pursuit of academic brilliance, if people can also focus on self-belief, self-confidence, personality building, communication skills, and a whole lot of knowledge gathering. Knowledge is available at fingertips today. In our times, to answer a why, we had to go searching in the library over an encyclopedia. We did not have access to knowledge. Today, knowledge is at fingertips. So let's not take knowledge for granted. And it's a rapidly changing world. So in today's world, I think apart from knowledge, which is a given, everybody's pursuing knowledge, I think learnability is the key for survival. And as I said, that has to be complemented with personality development, communication skills, because I may have a lot of knowledge inside me, but if I can't express it in front of somebody, or if I can't put it to or if I cannot communicate it well with a set of external people, stakeholders, or environment, then I'm not putting my knowledge to good use. So that's my advice.
Thank you so much. I think we're done with the questionnaire. I will hand it back to Mr. Shafi now. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
You're most welcome. I hope that was useful in some way.
I'm back again. Thank you very much.
Yes, Shafi.
Wonderful. I was listening in all the while and very candid, grateful to you. You've been very open. And I think this has gone the right way. To use a cricketing example, we got the best man to open the innings, right?
Oh, really? I'm so honored.
I'm so honored. Thank you very much. And what I would request you, it's a bit of a trouble. I could always get it from LinkedIn, but maybe you could just send in a brief profile of yours, a paragraph or however you want to put it across, and that would really help. That can be part of the recording.
I will send it to you. I have your email ID, right? So
that would be a big
help. Right? Yeah. I do. I will send it across to you. I have something which you can edit it the way you wish to. You can. Okay. No worries. I'll leave that to you.
And whenever you are here
Great.
next, we
So,
need to catch up, or I hope to be.
yeah, we missed
I don't know.
meeting each other. I
It's
would have
here.
loved to. In fact, I was looking
Same here.
forward to it. I gave a call on a Sunday, but my health was so down, and as I said, I was laughing at
No, no,
myself. I probably caught on
when
that
we spoke, you
bug.
sounded bad, and I thought maybe you're not up to it anyway. Just as well. Never mind. We'll catch up again, inshallah. I hope to be in Singapore sometime. You take care
Take
too.
care.
Take care. Right? Thank you.
Cheers.
Please
I'll
do.
send you the
Thank you. Bye bye.